Alright guys, so today the plan is to go to the junkyard and try to find a better, more comfortable set of seats. I really like a nice classy looking bench seat just to kind of match the interior look. But if I can't find that, maybe like a pair of buckets like out of a newer Chevy 1500 or something like that. So we took a bunch of measurements, that way I have an idea what's going to fit in there. We're going to go just try out a bunch of seats. I mean, I hope there's anything worthwhile, but ideally like a nice gray bench seat that's like super soft and cushy, like out of like a Lincoln or an old Cadillac or something would be ideal. That seat isn't the most comfortable seat in the world, and we're about to start putting a lot of miles on this thing. We've got a trip coming up that's 8 hours round trip, so I just kind of want to make it a little more comfortable, and I'll be happy. So that's one of many things we're going to do to make it more comfortable, but that's what we're focusing on today. So, oh, that one I almost said bye. All right, we're going to the junkyard. What am I doing? I love coming to the junkyard because it's kind of like a treasure hunt. Dig through a bunch of crap, hope you find something worthwhile. Right now I'm going to kind of look at like some of the Chevys, just see, like these wouldn't be terrible, but they're not my first choice. I need something with a center console if I'm going to get buckets, captain chairs, whatever you want to call them. Realistically, I need to go find like the town cars and stuff. I think that's really gonna be my best bet. Hopefully the benches are similar size. I got my straw hat on. It's not that hot today. Sorry for the wind flare. It's not that hot today, but it is warm. It actually feels kind of nice out when the breeze hits. Okay, I'll update you guys when I get to hopefully my treasure, not my trash. All right, so I think I have found my seats. Gray Chevy 1500 seats. I've always liked these seats, part of why I want a Chevy 1500, because these seats are so comfy. They're like the lightest gray I can find. They're really the only ones in nice shape I can find. I measured them and they actually should work. I thought this was gonna be too big, but to kind of like where your back is, I think they'll fit. And we can return them if anything, but I wanna grab them because this is really what I've been leaning towards is one of these. So it's in a precarious spot here. Let me show you. Dang it, I didn't mean to shut that door again. The handle's broken. There's the where does it say it? Oh, it says down there, it says 7,000 volts. I feel like I've tried to touch it before and it didn't do anything, but I don't remember. No. Okay. It does kind of smell smokerish in here, which I'm not a fan of, but they're in good shape. They're not all worn out. They're not all stained. We're just gonna do it. Why not? It's like a few bolts. They're manual, which is what I needed. Okay, I'm pulling them out. Jeez, these are tight. That was easier. To the back side. Oh, throw the camera on the ground and slam it into stuff. Oh no, the handle's missing on this side for the recline. Oh, what a bummer. I'm gonna have to go try to find one. There we go. So it's an 11. That works. All right. I think we got one more on the front. You know what's cool about these is the seatbelt is self-contained in the seat. Oh, we do have wiring now. All right. One down. So this is already halfway off. We just got to get the bolts on this side by the sketchy electrical fence, and we can move on, be done with this. The annoying thing is we can't really pull it out of that side, so I've got to pull it up and over this way. It's a little dirty. Ew. Ew, so gross. Gonna need a deep clean. Oh good, almost done. All right, successfully got the seats. Ew, what is that? Ew, I shouldn't show you guys this because you're gonna abolish me for getting these. But I think it's asked the guy, the cashier, it's like 80 bucks for these, which is pretty cheap. All right, I'm gonna go see if I can find some levers for the recline real quick, then we'll head out. Oh, also, let me give you a better idea of the type of person who owned this truck. Plastic back window, like some sort of sideboard, tech screwed in, camo duct tape. Sick. All right, we made it back home. So our first step is going to be to get this guy out. Oddly enough, it's actually studs that go through the bottom, and the nuts are on the bottom side. So we will rip this thing out and test fit. When it comes to stuff like this where you're not sure whether or not it's going to work out, you know, it's kind of like a custom thing. I mean, if you can call it that. For me, I like to do stuff, I like to try to think of how I'm going to do it, the order of operations, if you will. So what my plan is to take this seat out, test fit those seats before we go too crazy into getting those seats in there and mounting them up. We're going to test fit them and make sure everything fits and it's comfortable, there's enough room and all that stuff. If that's good, then we'll mount them. And then once we mount them, you know, we'll drive it around and see kind of like if that's what we want. And then at that point, you know, we can do more, which would be like getting a center console lid and stuff. So I'm going to clean these seats off first. Well, I'm gonna get this seat out first. Let's do that. Let's be smart. So I've noticed our first potential problem. The floorboard raises up at an angle, as you can see. So there might be some bracket modification required. The other one is this ice bag from the last trip to me. This might be in the way, but first off, we need to clean everything up. We need to clean out in here, vacuum it, might as well while we're here, clean the seats. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I gotta say, it's a pretty nice day out right now. It's a little warmer than my taste, but it's pretty nice. It's almost like perfect right now. It's a light breeze. Okay, so got the seats vacuumed up a little bit. Like I was saying, not gonna go crazy on them. Like I really want to clean off. It's just kind of, they're kind of nasty. And I really want to do that, but I'm not going to right this second because I don't know that they're going to fit or if we're going to be able to make them fit. So we're going to try that first. Passenger side because we got more room over here. Basically, this isn't going to work. Oh my God, yeah. That's way too high. Oh man. These do feel comfy though. Let's see about putting the rails further forward, sliding the seat all the way back. Should make it a little better. That's not bad. Let's try the driver's side. The center console actually fits pretty much perfectly. Alright, we're going to put some spacing under it. Oh man, I'm digging it. It's super comfortable, which is just what I wanted. This will need to come back a little bit. It's not quite where it needs to be and be spaced up a little bit too, but we can easily space the seats up. Nice armrest here. Let's see how it looks, because that is an important part of the equation. This is a cool old truck. I don't want to ruin the way it looks on the interior. So this side bolster is bigger, like obviously like this measurement to here, but where your back ends up being, it's about the same. It's like 4.5, 5 inches. You just get the bolstering, which is bigger, which makes them look so much bigger. But we can easily, you know, shim up the front with some spacers or something. I guess that's about where it would sit. We just need to space it up too with everything else because they all bolt together. I've determined that they're worth it for the comfort Now it's just a matter of, do we raise the front, which is going to put them a little high. I don't really mind it, but I do like sitting low, and that's going to be the easiest way to do it, you know. Or do we chop and modify the actual brackets themselves to be at a similar angle, which would make it a little bit easier to actually physically mount them. So that's kind of where I'm at. Gonna take a look at the bracket, see what we can do. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff on here. So it doesn't look like we have a huge hope of modifying these rails. I was thinking about chopping this and welding a spacer in between, but then you've got this spring system here. Alright, so I got the side pieces off, and the only thing really attached here is this. This is the lever to adjust the backrest, but it's self-contained and goes to the backrest. It looks like nothing else attaches here. The only annoying part is the bars on the inside too, but we should definitely be able to chop 3 inches out of this on each side and just weld it back together. I absolutely do not see why we couldn't do that. I guess we could honestly just unbolt it from the seat maybe. Nah, it's probably going to be a challenge. We'll just YOLO it and weld it with it on the seat. But I think that's definitely going to be the best option. So we'll measure the difference on this. That'll give us the idea of the rake. And we want it to be about standard. We know that 3 inches worked. Just imagine this instead of being flat. Just drop the rear down a little bit. You can easily do the same here. Just cut that piece, cut this piece, and weld it back to there. This might go well, guys. I'm really happy with the seats. I really like these Chevy 1500 seats. I feel like they're lazy boys for the cars. That sounded so weird. Like lazy boy on wheels is how I explain those trucks, and I want my truck to be a lazy boy on wheels. I guess we're just gonna go for it. Alright guys, so I've kind of been plugging away at this. What I ended up doing is cutting that piece out. I cut about 2 inches out of it, but then this arm can't articulate enough. Like it pivots there, but it can't pivot enough because something down in here hits. So we probably got like 1.5 inches out of it, which might be enough. It might not be. We're gonna have to do the other side until I just welded this plate in here. It's not focusing. Not too terrible. This is just running uphill. Like I welded it exactly in this position. I might flip it on its side to do this part just to make it look better, just because I can. Oh man, metal shavings everywhere from cutting this stuff. I had to go get Milwaukee Sawzall blades because the crappy Harbor Freight one, well, Harbor Freight was closed. I was gonna buy Harbor Freight ones, but I didn't because they were closed. And then I was like, well, I might as well go all out and get Milwaukee ones. Oh my god, 10 times better. I'm not just saying that either. Like I mean, it's me messing up, but the Harbor Freight ones, like what'll happen is, you know, maybe you'll pull it out too far or in too far and it hits something, just bend it in half immediately. These, I kept doing, I did that a few times and it didn't bend it at all. So I'm pretty impressed with them. You know, time will tell. We'll see how long each one of them lasts. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna keep welding and then I'll touch back base with you guys. I don't know that I'm gonna get this done tonight. I'm hoping so, I don't know. I gotta say, I know I talk crap on my TIG skills, but my MIG skills aren't too terrible. This was a restart and I just kinda YOLO'd it. I just set it up too low. But all in all, like not bad. This is my first time really going at it with a MIG in months. These are a little cold, but there was a little gap there too, it seems. So that side's done. All right, I got the second side welded up. This piece got a little crooked when I welded it, so there's kind of a big gap there, but it's all right. It torqued out. So we're gonna let it cool down for a minute, and then we're gonna test fit it. And if it's good, then we'll try to just hustle and knock the other seat and the center console out. Our proof of concept. It's already getting a little too late to be cutting and grinding stuff. This is good. It's nowhere near as high as it was when we had it spaced up 3 inches in the front. It's comfortable. It's got enough rake back. Okay, so proof of concept approved. We will continue on tomorrow. Do some more stuff. Make the other one work. I think the center console should be easy. I'm all about center consoles, but it does look nice to have all this room in here, like in between the seats. We'll see how much of a pain it is to get the center console in. It's tough because the bolt holes need to line up with these bolt holes. They both sit at the same spot. And this is already a little wider as a unit than the bench seat. So I'm running into an issue where the bolster is touching the armrest, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll at least modify the driver's side tomorrow and roll with that. Alright, so we got it cut. What you can see is that we cut last time. I cut like a big thing and then a big thing, but then we ended up taking this bracket off, which is what we're going to do this time again. So there's no need to cut this massive like center section out, which we do have to do on the other side because we have to leave this bracket on the other side. We also grinded this down because on the other seat, what happens is when you recline this seat, the more you recline it, the further this goes down. So when we shorten this whole setup up and we get, you know, this a lot closer together and cut these off and all that, this hits the actual seat rail. So that's why we ground that down. I did do that on the other one because I didn't know to do it. I might do it when I pull it back out. So now we gotta unbolt this thing, take it off, and then start welding it back together shorter. It's hot with this shirt on. Okay, so the reason why I like to do the passenger side first, or whichever side is least important on whatever it is because you learn from those sides. Sorry it's so dark, I'm gonna pull the truck in a second. So you can see how this humps down here, and with those seats, the one seat rail, I mean you can see it is all the way up against the trans tunnel, and the other side hangs off here. Like, I think it's like, I measured it's like a little over an inch. So, perfectly enough, this is the side that hangs off, and it's the side that's limited by that arm that, you know, tilts the back up and down. This is the side that doesn't hang off, and it's not limited at all. You can slam this thing. You can take like a solid, you know, 2.5, 3 inches out of it. So I took an extra inch out of this side because it's going to sit up on the hump, and this one's going to sit off the hump. So hopefully we shouldn't really have to space anything out besides spacing the front of this side up a little bit, because they're both going to be, like this one's still going to be a little bit higher. Which I guess we could redo that one, but I don't really want to get into all that. It's fine. So I might end up redoing the passenger side at some point. I don't know. I'll see how it looks when they get in there. Let's take the spacers out of this one. Oh, dude, that's money. You know, it's a little closer than I'd like. headrest that actually works. You can put your head on it. I feel like that's so uncommon with cars. The headrests do nothing. Alright, I guess it's time to open. Oh, broke it again. I guess it's time to start de-reeling some holes. Realistically, I need to try to get the center console in here, retest fit both the seats, and then drill some holes. So we're probably going to do that. Okay, so I cut this. Well, I cut it, it was like a really wide foot, so I cut it shorter and then cut like 2 inches off of it and then re-welded it further up to match the same drop we dropped on the back of the seats. And then we drilled holes in that part. And the front part, we also cut the flange off and drilled holes in it so we can tech screw it in. So we're gonna try to center it up in there, tech screw it in, and then put the seats in. All right, we got the center console in. I did notice, like I saw this before, but I saw the screws and was like, oh, I can just take that whole piece off. That's part of the console lid, but it looks like this is part of this whole top deal. That would be lame. But if anything, I'm sure we could find just this top piece and swap it out. So we'll see, But it fits in there nice. It's still, it's about where it needs to be. I just feel like it's slanted down just a hair still. But that's okay, not a big deal. Got cup holders, nice cup holders. So yeah, I know that those bolt holes line up because I test fitted the seat and it worked. I don't know that these do, so we're gonna try to get this passenger seat in first. The only thing is we've gotta like slide the rail forward, stick the bolt in, slide it back, get the other bolt in. It's just kind of it's a little bit of a process, but we're gonna do it. All right, before I forget, I finally got a P.O. Box. A lot of you have been asking for me to get a P.O. Box, and I've been meaning to do it for a while, and I thought USPS and then like private ones were the only option. But I happened to go to this UPS store that I haven't been to. It's a little farther away, and for some reason my package was held there. And I realized they have P.O. Boxes. So I got a P.O. Box. You guys can send me stuff there for those of you who are interested, wanted to. So I'll put the address below. I'll just leave it in all the videos probably. Yeah, that's that. Just addressed it to me, Taylor Ray. So cool, finally did that. I'm stoked. Making moves, right? P.O. Box. Such a professional. I don't know. Who uses P.O. Box outside of this circumstance? I don't know. Okay, all right, we're finishing. We're finishing this. I'm not procrastinating at all. That's not what I'm doing. I just wanted to tell you guys about my P.O. Box. Okay, all right, we're doing it. Oh my God, they're in. Isn't that amazing? I really wish, every time I do a project and I'm like, oh, well, there's this one step that I can't do immediately, I'll have to do it later, but that's okay. Like, I already wish I had this. I mean, I knew I wanted it, but anyway, I need that center console lid. But dang, check it out. They look at home in here. I already showed you guys this when they weren't bolted in, but I just feel like they look at home. They're so comfy. They're a little tight, like the door, you'll see. Oh God, I always do that. Crush this thing. The door hits the, yeah, right there. You can see it. But like, I fit in it just fine. They're a lot more comfortable than the bench. You know, they're just not 100% perfect. There was no way to get them 100% perfect. You know, we had to make sure that they weren't. I could have moved this one over a little more. I don't know why I didn't do that. I feel like there was a reason for it. I guess it's like snug up against the center console though. Like, OE fitment. Can still get back, whatever works. Can still get back behind it. throw all my stuff back here. I feel like I now have a little more room with this area. I can just chuck like a backpack here or whatever. If I can't find a lid for this, I'll definitely do like a DIY center console of some sort, which would kind of be annoying because I have to take the seats out to get the center console out. I like having the OEM one, so we'll see. If it comes to that, it comes to that, but I'm very happy with the outcome. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll get some driving video while we're on the way to the private day with Adam. But as of right now, I am tired and I'm dirty. I'm gonna go shower and I'm gonna go to bed. Okay guys, so I just got back from about an 8-hour round trip. I went down to Miami and back to drop off the Miata at Jackson Performance. I just happened to have this shirt and I was like, this is a great day to wear it. My buddy Chris is doing a cage in the Miata. Video on that later once it's done, but I got a chance to really test out the seats because the day after we installed them, why I was in such a rush was because we went to OSW to drive with Adam, which, speaking of Spring Break Bash, it's basically like Black Friday, but in the spring, not as cold. 3-day event at OSW next weekend. The dates would be 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a really good event. I'm really hoping a lot of people show up. So if you guys are in the area or you want to come out to a cool event, if you plan to come to one of the events, this would definitely be one of the top ones to make it to. So I'll put the link to OSW's page below with the information and all of that stuff. But it's a 3-day camping event. I'm going to be there all 3 days, hopefully, with the Z. So we got some work to do to that, but going to be a really fun event. Hope to see some of you there. But anyway, going to OSW with the seats, 30-minute drive back and forth. I noticed that like the front of the seat was a little too low for my taste, and it just like didn't feel right. It just felt a little too low, almost like you wanted to like slide out of it, which obviously isn't true. It still had rake, but just not what I'm accustomed to. So right before I went down to Miami, I raised the front of the seats up. And man, I was so critical of it because I'm like, I put so much time into these seats, and I'm like, oh, it's a little too cramped in here now. Maybe this is a bad idea. Oh, it's not right. It's leaning a little bit. It's this, it's that. But after 8 hours of driving where, I kind of got to let go of those notions, man, what a massive difference. Normally, the trip there, by the end of that, I'm hating life. I'm restless. I'm tossing all over the place. I just can't get comfortable. With those seats, I could have drove 8 more hours. So I'm really, really, really happy with how they came out. It's given me a lot of motivation to do all the other things that I've been putting off to do the truck because I really wasn't not sure where I was on it because I'm like, man, this thing sucks for long drives. But now that we kind of got that sorted out, we can continue on all the other things that I want to do. So let me know what you guys thought of the seat video, the truck stuff. What do you want to see done to the truck? I mean, on my list is like gauges, front springs, shocks, paint, just maybe wheels. I don't know. It depends on what the budget allows. But let me know what you would like to see. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Bye. I waved twice. Okay, bye. Guess what? We're all early. Gates locked. Z. Can you see his arm in the way? Z.